so we took a break from the game as winter break rolled in. Pretty good timing. It gave me a month to plan out the next sessions of entirely new material after a semester of doing a module. Unfortunately, this also gave Problem Player a chance to read up on every single 3.5 book that existed, as well as do some research on the most powerful combos out there so that his ego could be stroked by everyone at the table. Truthfully, I cannot tell you exactly what he was playing. I think it was a paladin/sorcerer as a reborn dragonborn, a human who was blessed by Bahamut or something to become a half-dragon with some kind of dragon ability or something. I think it's in the Draconomicon. I went over to his dorm room to check out the new character, and first thing I noticed weren't his stats. Even though once again, he seemed to have gotten an 18 in both strength and charisma, along with 16 con, 2 dex and int, and 13 wisdom. Okay, sure. But the fact was that he had wings. As a new DM, I was very hesitant about that because I knew that flying gave people massive advantages in combat, and being able to do it at will could be game-breaking for a party at lower levels, level 5 or 6 at this point. I expressed my concerns with this, and he assured me that it was balanced. See, up until level 6, it just gives me +5 to jump checks, but then at 8, I can glide if I jump from a very tall place, and it won't be until level 12 that I can actually fly. And on top of that, his starting gold, calculated from some website that I allowed him to buy mithril, I think plate, and a valorous lance that did 4 times damage when he did a mounted charge. A little weird since no one had horses, and we were going into an area that horses couldn't go into, an underground tomb, but okay, sure. I guess that's okay. What's the worst that could happen? Well, even with that super powerful knight in shiny armor, who is 8 feet tall and practically ripping with muscles, he still managed to mess himself up out of sheer stupidity. So the entire time the party are in this dungeon, I've been hinting that there is a rust monster in there with them. Things like rusted off doors, spears with no heads, half dissolved coins, the works. Eventually they turn a corner and I describe a gray slad whipping a rust monster to help him find secret doors. The rest of the party's reaction? Oh yeah, forget this, I'm taking the slad. Yeah, forget that, I like my magic sword, I'm staying back and find the slad. I could hit it, but my pendant is made out of metal, so maybe I'll go after the slad. I guess I'll fight the rust monster. And then he does so. He gets into melee combat with the rust monster. And yes, he knew exactly what a rust monster was. And then he acts sulky when one of his magic swords and his armor gets destroyed. Not only that, the rest of the party is having a tough fight with the slad, which they don't really know anything about, since it's not one of the more well-known creatures. The bard says, okay, I'll throw one of my alchemist fires at it. Don't do that! It has damage resistances to fire! How do you know? Oh, I looked it up on my phone. Oh, and make sure you don't get hit by it because it lays eggs inside of you. Dude, really? I don't want to hear that. What? I'm just trying to help. Dude, that's cheating. Don't tell us stuff like that. Let us figure it out on our own. And I'm just sitting there stunned. Since, wow, yeah, straight up blatant cheating. I should also mention that he stopped rolling dice at this point. Yeah, he figured that since his dice rolls kept messing him up, that he was just gonna roll dice on his phone from now on. And suddenly, there were fewer and fewer rolls below a 10 popping up. Now, I can't say that he was lying, but it is very easy to hit the roll button a few times quickly until you get a really good number, and actively refuse to roll the dice again. So... oh, but we are not done yet with the cheating. See, the culmination of the dungeon they were in was in a cold iron dagger that was important to the rogue's backstory. You see, it was going to be useful since the town that they had moved into after Baldur's Gate was secretly run by an incubus that they were going to have to fight, and this dagger was going to be a good way for the Bardi to be able to defeat it. And it was set up as such, an epic encounter that I had set up. The devil revealed himself in the town square, and the fight was on. The bard started to sing his song. The monk got a good hit on it. It was going to be problem player's turn, and then the rogue would get his shot. I fly up 20 feet in the air and then dive straight down towards the creature at a 45-degree angle, and I do 75 damage. What? How? Oh, well, because I'm flying down at a 45-degree angle, it's like I'm doing a mounted charge. It's a rule from Dragon Magazine issue 274. So I get 50 damage, and because I'm using two hands, I do an additional 1.5 times damage. But you told me you couldn't fly. Oh, well, after I showed you my character for the first time, I found a feat that made my wings stronger, so now I can actually fly. Well, okay, you killed the incubus in one hit. Session over. And he sits there all smug, looking around at the other players, waiting for everyone else to sing his praises for his awesome character and how much of an awesome person he is because he was able to sneak some obscure feat onto his character at the last minute because he knew I wouldn't let it slide in character creation. He got no such praise, and against my better judgment, I let him keep his stuff since I figured that I was at fault for letting all this stuff slip past me, even though I would be told later by a way more experienced DM that problem player claim on flying down being like a mounted charge was complete poop. So what do I know? It was during this time when he blew up at me at what he thought was unfair treatment in the party. The party was going on a mission to help save the bard's baby mama. Though initially the paladin wanted to ignore the quest altogether and was about to leave the party because they were told there was a mission the king wanted to give them when they were in the capital, and thought that this backstory side quest would be a waste of his time. They ended up in a fight with this feral halfling bandit leader who, in a contest of strength, was able to beat problem player in a straight roll. Both of them rolled a nat 20, and the halfling's strength was better because he was secretly a werewolf. He was livid. They won the fight in the end, but the idea that his character got beaten by a halfling in pure strength made him angry. He was so angry that he drafted an email stating his complaints with my game, including such gems as, "The dice were mean to me when I roll. You destroyed my mithril armor when I fought that rust monster. There are consequences when I didn't follow the paladin code. You had no problem killing my characters," among much more stuff like that. I should have just let him walk away from the game, but I responded to each and every one of his complaints, clearly explaining in very polite terms why he was being stupid. "Yeah, I killed your first character because you told me to, remember?" But I eventually talked him down and tried as a DM to give him more moments of being awesome that he so clearly craved, which really only led him to ditching the party to gather loot while the party kept exploring, and him waiting on them to come back. So how did this juggernaut eventually meet his end? Simple. He was stupid. At many points, you can point to something in this game and say that me, as a DM, failed here, or made a mistake there, or I should have handled it like X. But this, what is about to happen, 100% on him. So I read the beginning of the Tyranny of the Dragons game from 5e, and thought the intro would be a cool scenario for them. For those of you unaware, the party shows up to the city of Green Nest, only to see it being attacked by an adult blue dragon. The quest from there involves the party running to help to save people and form an evacuation. As soon as I describe the dragon descending on this town, everyone's pants immediately get a little bit more brown. All except problem player. No, he flew up to the dragon with the intent to fight it. Once again, everyone is left speechless at the table. No one was expecting that. "What are you doing?" "I'm fighting the dragon. It's a chromatic dragon, and I must kill it." "But you'd be fighting it alone. We can't help you from down here." "Yeah, that dragon is huge. It's gonna kick your butt." "Yeah, you estimate it's at least an adult, if not larger. Wingspan is over 50 feet. I'll be fine. I can take it. This goes on for a few minutes before I say, okay, problem player, I'm gonna level with you. I never do this, and I never will again. But as a DM to a player, you cannot take this. It is way too powerful for even the whole party, let alone you. You will die if you fight this. DM to player, no filter. Well, no one is having fun if I don't fight it. Yes, he said it. The rest of the party just sighed, leaned back, and watched the show. So he casts a ton of spells on himself in prep, but the dragon notices him coming. I give him a chance to back out as the dragon says,
"You, Dragonborn, you entertain me. I'll let you live if you go now."
Problem player says nothing and just attacks. It does pretty decent damage. The dragon opens his mouth and shoots off a lightning bolt, dropping him down to 2 hit points. The dragon laughs again. You think if you run now, you might live. I attack again. Okay, the dragon bites you. It does 33 damage. Oh, I'm dead. The rest of the table internally, of course. That was a long one, but we still got one more character to go. And man, if you can believe it, it gets worse. His absolute worst character is next. Now this one did put a smile on my face. I was completely caught off guard by the flying mounted charge maneuver craziness. What do you think his next character is going to be like? As a bonus for staying this long, here are some outtakes. You destroyed my mithril armor when I fought that rustler.
"You, Dragonborn, you entertain me. I'll let you live if you go now."